The 911 GT2 RS might be the greatest track-going car ever made. 690 horsepower from a 3.8 litre turbocharged engine, real aero, solid suspension, and just one of the best all-round abilities on track. It's setting track records wherever it's going. So how would you improve on the GT2 RS? Well, if you know me or if you've watched tyre reviews before, I'm sure you can see where this is going. Tyres. Now, Goodyear have recently announced the Goodyear Eagle F1 SuperSport R and RS. These are Goodyear's answers to the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 and Cup 2R. So, like the Cup 2, the Goodyear Eagle F1 SuperSport R is a tyre that you can use on track perfectly, but it still has some road going ability, so you can still drive it to and from the track, no problems, leave it on your car all summer, turn up, bang some track days and drive home. The RS is like the Cup 2R. This is the one that's taken away some wet weather ability and really focused on dry weather performance. It's got a slick surface, it's got a race-inspired compound, and it should be the all-out dry lap time. So if you were ever going to improve the GT2 RS, tyres are probably the answer. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to test the R first, then move over to the RS and see exactly the increase in lap time, because Goodyear are promising something very special from the RS in the dry. So today's going to be a really good day. Okay, so we start this video on the SuperSport R on a track I've done about 10 laps of today in a car I've never driven, and it's the GT2 RS, and me is this thing quick. I've just come out of a GT3 and these are the first laps I've ever done on the car, and it's gripping. Oh my good God, this thing's fast. Anyway, less about the car, more about the tyres, because I'm a tyre tester, not a car tester. This car is brilliant. I mean, I love the 3RS. I don't think this is better, but the tyres. Anyway, so the SuperSport R is Goodyear's big brother to the SuperSport, which is their equivalent of the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2. Still warming up the car on tyres, so not pushing it flat out. Now, the SuperSport R is intended for a lot of track work, but it's still usable on the road. So that means it's a very good Cup 2 alternative. What this tyre has worked on is the compound, to give you a race bias compound. I really hope you can hear me. The grip is unbelievable. Sorry. All I'm doing is laughing about this car. First time I've driven it. The compound gives you more stability on track, and then the way they've done this tread pattern, they've removed a lot of the material from the outer shoulder, so you've got a big thick outer shoulder, and then the first circumferential rib, they've bridged between the inner and outer, so that gives the tyre a lot more stability. And how's that performing as a tyre on this car? Well, 911s famously light on the front, but incredible traction. So that's 700 horsepower, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Traction is not a problem, which is just bonkers in this kind of car. Front end is beautiful. You get a good amount of information through the front axle, while it's communicating, it's telling you when it's switching to understeer, when you're like on the very limit of grip, and it's really nice experience. The steering is like completely quick, pin sharp, as it would be on a 911. Oh, I'm gonna get told off. So for my fast laps, which you'll see in a second, I have to wear a helmet. I'm not allowed to time it out, so I'm not meant to be driving too quickly, but my God, this car just picks up and gets out of the corners. So now we roughly know what this tyre is about and where it sits. I'm going to go and do the fast laps on the SuperSport R, set a benchmark time, and then switch to the SuperSport RS, because that's the even more race-inspired one. So I'll give you the subjective differences, and then we'll see just how much faster it is around a lap. So let's switch to the fast lap and hopefully knock me in a wall.
The SuperSport R posted a benchmark time of 1 minute 14 seconds, and while visiting the garage to have the wheels changed, I had a quick chat with the lead developer of the new tyres, Helmut Full, about why the new SuperSport range feels so good, especially on the front axle.
By reducing groove widths, groove lengths, you're increasing, and the non-skid, you're increasing the tread pattern stiffness by more than 40%.
And what about the bridges?
Yeah, here as well.
Yeah, how much increase in stiffness does that?
It's a big increase.
Yeah.
It's responsible for part of the steering position.
That's really good on the front.
And therefore we have it here as well, but here they are bigger.
Yeah. And that's the sweet one. So how much faster should this be?
Ooh, it's depending on you.
Yeah, take me out of the equation. How much faster should this be?
I cannot say. But it's really faster.
Okay. Challenge. Yeah, if I'm now slower, I'm just driving home.
With zero pressure on the next few laps, I headed out of the garage and onto the track to see exactly how different the new SuperSport RS feels.
So now I am out on the SuperSport RS. This is Goodyear's incredible top of the top dry weather performance, essentially a race tyre for the road. And as we're warming up, I can tell you a few little things about it compared to the R. It has ever so slightly better steering, so it feels a little bit quicker, and this is down to the more race inspired carcass and the less tread, the stiffer construction. It also, I mean, traction is absolutely flawless, as it was with the R, but the RS just seems to dig in that little bit more, and the brakes are absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this feels like this is a racing tyre for the road. This is exactly how it feels. You've got this granularity to the wheel, which the R was incredible, but the RS is just giving you so much more, and you can hear it like banging up rocks against the bodywork. I'm still not meant to be driving flat out, so that's why this is a bit more of a sedate lap, but we will go and do the lap time. Now the SuperSport R, which you've probably seen, was a 1:14 dead, so that was a good benchmark. I was really happy with that tyre. If I was gonna throw criticism at the R, I would say it's probably the fact it gives a little bit of understeer, but that's because the R is a very OE biased tyre, so it's got to be safe, so the car's set up with a little bit of oversteer. This, I can already tell, isn't going to be quite as understeery, so it's just gonna be, I mean, this thing's bonkers. I don't know how this is a road legal tyre. I'm just gonna stop talking and go in, get rigged up with the GoPros and the camera and go and do a lap time, because this thing is obscene. I've already, while chatting, done a faster sector one than I've ever done. So let's de-rig, let's calm down, let's put a helmet on, and let's go and see if the SuperSport RS, the Goodyear Eagle F1 SuperSport RS, is this the new fastest tyre in the world? Now, I'm not testing it against the Cup 2R or the Trofeo R, but I will be. But against the SuperSport R, it's going to be a solid benchmark. So if it's a second quicker around a 1:14 lap, that's still huge. So let's rig up and have some fun. This is beautiful. Oh, the balance, outstanding. Oh God. Here we go. What is it? So 110, 110.6. That's 4 seconds faster. 3.5 seconds. This thing's a slick for the road.
After I regained the ability to talk, the tyre settled into a 1 minute 12.3 lap time, while continuing to offer incredible balance and performance. Now, all that's left to do is to conclude the day.
So, how to conclude this day of silliness? Well, firstly, thanks to Goodyear for lending me Ascari and these two cars, and thank you to Porsche for making these absolute track weapons. The GT3 RS, the GT2 RS, I can't believe how drivable the 2 RS is. The 3 RS is probably still my preference, just for that normally aspirated 9,000 RPM, but I can't get over just how usable the 2 RS is with that massive extra amount of torque. This thing is a weapon. As for the tyres, now, this is interesting. I think Michelin finally has a rival at the very top. The SuperSport R, so that's the Cup 2 rival, that was just a lovely tyre. The steering on Porsches, on the 911s especially, a little bit light, but they've probably got the best electronic power steering. And it gave you so much detailed information. You knew exactly when you were about to push, exactly where the limit was, and you just understood the car and the tyre. And likewise at the back, you could just steer it out the corner on a little bit of throttle. Even with all the traction on the 911, you could just play, and that's wonderful. As for stepping to the SuperSport RS, which is the Cup 2R version, I mean, you saw me shout and scream on the video. I'm very sorry for not making any sense. The thing's bonkers. The extra turning you get, the balance that allows you to move the rear around even more, and the grip The first lap grip took nearly 4 seconds off my lap time, which on a 1:14 lap that's unheard of. The tyre did stabilise and drop into a sort of 1:12.5, so that's still a second and a half quicker than the SuperSport R. And the confidence and the balance and the way it was just keying into the surface, I mean, off camera, I was almost in tears. I was like laughing and smiling so much. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to do the test. I'm going to try my very hardest to do the test. The SuperSport RS versus the Cup 2R versus the Trofeo R, because these are now the holy trinity of SuperSport tyres. These are the very top of the track day rung. So fingers crossed that's going to happen soon. It's just about finding cars like this, which are very hard to come by, unsurprisingly. Nearly a £500,000 car, and let's go smash it around a track with the wall straight there. But luckily I didn't put it in any walls. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask below. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for loads more stuff like this in the future, and as always, safe motoring.